morning, children. This is your teacher Nafisa Edinwala, wishing you a lovely day. Children, today we will be doing the remaining part of our lesson. That is the third part, the last leaf, page number 69 and 70. But before we start, let's recap what we did in 2 sessions. That there were 2 women, John C. and Shu. They came from different parts of United States. They were struggling artists. They met in a restaurant in New York. They became good friends. And they decided to stay together and share an apartment. Now, during the epidemic of pneumonia, which had struck New York, John C. falls a victim of it and she takes to bed. Shu takes a great care of her, but John C. did not want it to get cured because she had developed a belief that the plant which was outside her window, that is ivy plant, when it will lose its last leaf, she will go. Means she is going to die. That was a blind belief. And Shu tried her best. And there is another gentleman, Mr. Behrman, who lived on the ground floor of their apartment. He is a very kind-hearted person. And let's see what did Sue and Mr. Behrman do to bring that hope in John C. for living. Let's get started, children. The Last Leaf by O. Henry. She is very ill and weak, said Shu. The fever has made her mind full of fancies. Now what is Shu telling to Mr. Behrman? Just because of fever, her mind is full of bad thoughts. Fancies means bad thoughts. She is very weak and ill. Now Behrman is telling Sue, they are conversating. He is telling, this place is not good for Miss Johnsy. Someday I will paint a masterpiece and we shall all go away. He is such a kind-hearted person. He is saying that this place is not good for Johnsy. One day I will paint a masterpiece. By selling that masterpiece, we will earn a lot of money and we all will go away from this place, said Behrman. Johnsy was sleeping when the two went upstairs. Now Johnsy was sleeping. When Shu and Behrman came to the apartment, they saw that Johnsy was sleeping. Shu showed Behrman the ivy vine that Johnsy saw through the window. Shu told him that, see, this is the ivy plant. She's just keeps watching and she's developed this belief that when the last leaf falls, she will die. They looked at each other for a moment without speaking. See, when you look at somebody and without speaking a word, you understand what the other person is trying to tell. That's a great art. That is when you understand your friend. And they began to work. And what was that work they began to work was? Because that was Shu had requested Behrman to be his model because she had to sell a painting tomorrow to somebody and so that she can get some money. So Behrman was acting as a model. Outside, the cold rain was falling continuously, mingled with snow. Shu closed the windows. Now outside it was still raining continuously with snow. It was windy, cold. So what did Shu do? She closed the window. Next morning, when Shu woke up, she found Johnsy staring at the closed window. When she woke up next morning, Shu saw that Johnsy was staring at the closed window. Johnsy, what did Johnsy tell Shu? Open the window. I want to see, she ordered. right? And Shoo, poor female, she opened the window for her. But lo, even after the rain and fierce wind that blew throughout the night, there stood against a brick wall one ivy leaf. And to their surprise, what did they see? That even the wind was strong, rain, heavy rain, but still there was one leaf on the brick wall that stood there, and that was ivy leaf. It was the last one, right? It was the last on the vine, still dark green near its stem, but its edges tinted with yellow. But its edges, मतलब उसकी जो outside lines थी वो yellow. It hung bravely from the branch some 20 feet above the ground. It was 20 feet above the ground. It is the last one, said Johnsy. Now, what is again Johnsy telling? Okay, this is the last one. When this falls, I'm really going to die. Still, that she has that notion. I thought it would surely fall during the night. I heard the wind. It will fall today. I shall die at the same time. She's saying that today, definitely, it's going to fall and I'm going to die. Johnsy was preparing herself for the last journey. She had prepared herself for the last journey, means she was all prepared to die. That one makes alone. The feeling was very strong within her. Means that feeling had caught up so strong that she had decided कि मैं आज मरने ही वाली हूँ. The ties of Shu's friendship and other things on earth became loose one by one. And see, that ties, that bondage of friendship and love was becoming loose. Johnsy and Shu both felt that this tie is getting loosened up. Means they are going to lose that relationship. The day wore off. The day wore off means the entire day went away. But even through the twilight, they could see the lone ivy leaf clinging to the stem against the wall. But what did they see? Even then, that ivy plant was still clinging to the wall. At night, again the wind raged and the rain poured. Next day, when it was light enough, Johnsy asked Shu to open the window. Now, again that night also it was raining. And the next morning, Johnsy asked Shu to open the window. The ivy leaf was still there. See, 3 to 4 days passed, but still, that with 2 days, I think last 2 days, the ivy was still there. Johnsy lay for a long time looking at. Johnsy kept on looking at that plant. Then she called Shu. Shu, dear, she said, I have been a bad girl. Something has made the last leaf stay there to show me how wicked I was. Johnsy calls Shu and says, I think she apologizes. That see, I have been a very bad girl. And see, something has made that last leaf stay on the wall. And this leaf is telling me how wicked I was with you, means how badly I treated you and how badly I kept on addressing you that I'm going to die one day. It is a sin to want to die. It is sin means guna. You cannot ask for death. कि मैं मर जाऊँ, अल्लाह करे मैं मर जाऊँ. No, it is guna. After that, she was ready to take a broth and milk, and then she was ready to take a broth, that is a soup and a milk that Shu brought her, and she wanted to sit up in the bed, and she said that I want to sit on the bed. मतलब आज मैं बैठूंगी बेड पे, सोऊंगी नहीं. Someday I hope to paint a bay of Naples. And now she started talking. Who? Johnsy. That one day she will paint Bay of Naples, that is the name of a tree. Mr. Behrman downstairs was now ill with pneumonia. Now, the Mr. Behrman who was downstairs also became a victim of pneumonia. The sweeper had found him lying helpless in his room. Normally, the sweeper comes to clean the place. So, he found Mr. Behrman helpless in very wet clothes and shoes. He also found some scattered brushes and a palette with green and yellow colors. Now you understood that is a suspense. And what is that green and yellow color? Green color of the leaf and that yellow color of that edges that was painted in yellow. 2 days later, now Behrman was taken to the hospital, and 2 days later, Behrman died in a hospital. The last ivy leaf was still there on the wall. It never fluttered or moved when the wind blew. It was Behrman's masterpiece. He had painted it there at that night when the last leaf had already fallen. See, he had painted पूरी रात बारिश में भीगकर उसने वो पेंट किया just to give hope to John C. to live by sacrificing his own life. So this story was adapted from The Last Leaf by O. Henry. Don't you think a friend's sacrifice is more important? And we must always value the friendship, right? Okay, now let's do what is the theme of the lesson. Very often we find people having negative attitude of life. They lose interest in life and this causes suffering to people surrounding them. They are even ready to lose their life as life has lost all the meaning for them. The story tells the need to have a positive attitude towards life so that we can make it as fruitful as possible. Sacrificing our life for the sake of others is also the theme of the story. Painter Behrman sacrificed his life for John C. See, कभी कभी हम जीने की उमंग या डिज़ायर छोड़ देते हैं. So it is wrong. We must always take life in a positive way and make it fruitful because this life is gifted to us by God. And a person who sacrifices his own life for the benefit of other is also the theme. Means who is that person who would sacrifice his life? Mr. Behrman. For John C. He sacrificed his life for John C. That is a great thing because you're giving life to somebody and that means you're putting your life to the use fruitfully. Message given by what message do you get from this lesson? Or what is the lesson that you learn from this? The chief message this story gives is the spirit of sacrifice. We need to have in our life. The old artist Behrman sacrificed his life so that John C. could live. In the process, he also achieved his ambition of painting a masterpiece. उसने अपना ambition भी achieve कर लिया by painting a masterpiece. Now let's start with the workshop, children. Read the story, choose the appropriate meaning. That means there are alternatives given and you have to tick that alternative and put it in the blank. So we'll do it. Struggling artist trying hard. That is second, to earn the living. Skeleton branches. Your option is 3, bare branches. Wielded the brush. Option is first, 1, painted skillfully. D, palette. It is a board used by artists to mix colors. Your option number 2. Masterpiece, an exceptionally beautiful work of art. Your option is 3. Now, make pairs of the statement to show the difference between the meaning of the following homograph. See, homograph we had in a work warming up also and here also. So that means this is very important. You have to keep in mind that. Interest. He showed lot of interest in geography. B. The interest rates in the bank has increased on loans. See, two different meanings. Word is same. Well. John C. was not keeping well because of pneumonia. B. The well in our village has dried up. That is Kua. Left. He left for the office early morning. B. There was hardly any food left in the bowl. 4. Just. The Emperor Akbar was a just king. B. He played a game just for the sake of entertainment. 5. A. That is mind. He took decision with his own mind and did not depend on others. Mind your language, said the man to the rude boy angrily. Now true and false. Say whether the following statement are right or wrong. I have written true and false. You can, for true, you write, it's one and the same children. Shu and John C. were close friends. True, or you can say right. John C. was a rich girl. False. Sorry, Sue was a rich girl. False. John C. was hopeful that she will live. False. Behrman was a hard-hearted person. Was he hard-hearted? No, kind-hearted. So the statement is false, so you can say wrong. The last leaf fell off during the rain. True. John C. realized that her thinking was wrong. True. Now correct the statement. Shu and John C. were good neighbors. No, they were good friends. John C. was eager to recover from her illness. John C. had made up her mind that she will not be going to get well soon. Shu ignored John C. completely. Shu looked after John C. with lot of care. Behrman was a very heartless person. He was very kind-hearted person. E. The real ivy leaf did not fall off at all. The real ivy leaf fell off due to heavy rainstorm long time ago. The last leaf was a real leaf that survived. The last leaf was that drawn by Mr. Behrman. The last leaf had fallen off. Now you have to tell something about. Read the description of the following from the story. Describe one of them using your own words. See, you will get it's like a short note. Ivy, vine. It was an old ivy vine that was gnarled, decayed at the roots. It climbed halfway up the brick. The cold breath of autumn had taken away most of its leaves. Only the branches were left clinging to the bricks. Number 2, Behrman. Behrman was a painter who lived on the ground floor, but he was a failure in art. He always wanted to paint a masterpiece. He earned a living by serving as a model to the young artists in the colony who could not afford other models. He always talked of his coming masterpiece, the last leaf that John C. saw. The last leaf that John C. saw was not the real leaf, but the leaf painted on the wall by Mr. Behrman. It was dark green near its stem, but its edges were tinted with yellow. Naturally, it never fluttered or moved when the wind blew. It was Behrman's masterpiece and had been painted the night when the real leaf had fallen. Now, children, these are the important objectives of the chapter. Who said to whom? Open the window. John C. said to Sue. She is very ill and weak, Sue said to Behrman. I have not heard of such a thing, Behrman said to Sue. It's the last one, John C. said to Sue. Give one word for colored, slightly tinted, kind of thin soup, broth. moving with light, irregular motion, fluttered, an outstanding work of art, masterpiece, rough and twisted, gnarled. Thank you, children. That's all for the day. And with this, we finish our lesson. Hope you all enjoyed the lesson with me. And please do write down this question answers very neatly in your book. Have a nice day. Take care. Love you all.